What we will do inside heaven. The Bible describes beautiful places prepared for believers, almost like dream homes beyond imagination. Even animals are described as becoming peaceful and harmless toward one another. In heaven, joy never ends, and there will be no more sadness, fear, or pain. Many Christians believe we will recognize and reunite with others we knew before. Many believe there will be great feasts and celebrations shared with everyone in peace. Heaven is also believed to be filled with countless people from every nation and generation. Angels will no longer be a mystery, and we may even speak with them face to face. Worship in heaven will never feel forced because people will constantly be surrounded by God's presence. And unlike life on earth, heaven is described as eternal life filled with peace forever.
Fun fact. The reason Francis was sent to military school in Malcolm in the Middle was because of Hollywood's child labor laws. California has some of the strictest child labor laws in the world, which were introduced in response to the brutal conditions child actors endured in the 1920s and 30s. Judy Garland specifically was forced to work 18 hours a day, fed amphetamines to keep her performing, and then locked away the few hours she wasn't performing. In response to various scandals, California put strict laws in place that regulate how many hours a child actor can spend on set, as well as how much of that time can be spent filming versus chilling, mandatory 12-hour breaks between filming days, as well as mandatory school hours with a dual-purpose teacher/guardian. And since 3 out of the 4 main characters in Malcolm in the Middle were under the age of 16 when they started filming, the crew was incredibly limited by how many hours a day they could film. So the writers sent Francis to military school, which allowed the crew to film 6-ish hours with Malcolm, Reese, and Dewey, let them go home, and then film another 6-ish hours with Francis.
Here are some photos taken right before disaster, part 13. This photo was taken at the Burning Man festival. He decided it was a good idea to run into the burning effigy. And just like you would think, he burned to death. That was the last photo ever taken of him. This photo shows 14-year-old Keith Sapsford. He hid in the wheel of a flight leaving Sydney towards Japan. The photo was taken by John Gilspin. He was testing his new camera lens out and ended up getting the last moments of Keith's life. This is the last photo ever taken of Geraldine. She decided it was a good idea to go on a hiking expedition all alone. Her body was only discovered 2 years after she initially disappeared. When her body was found, it was discovered that she had survived some 20-plus days after she initially went missing. She had likely died of starvation and exposure to the elements. She had attempted to contact her husband with a text, asking him to call authorities. So she knew she was going to die. Pretty sad.
Top 3 police officers who actually encountered demons. A retired law enforcement officer named Michael said that he remembers going on a call many years ago for an elderly person needing medical assistance. He said that they arrived at the scene to find an elderly woman sitting in a chair experiencing some difficulty breathing. They assessed her and determined that she needed to be transferred to a hospital. He remembers comforting her and telling her that everything was going to be fine and that she was going to get the care that she needed at the hospital. Then he said that he turned around and he started walking away when all of a sudden this very deep demonic voice came out from deep within her. He said it sent chills up his back and the hairs on his neck stood on end. He said that he turned around and looked at her and it was not the same old lady that he had been speaking to minutes before. Her face had transformed and he couldn't make out what it was saying, but he said that just as quickly as it came, it left. He wasn't sure if anyone else there heard what he did. She was then transported to the hospital from there, and Michael said that he didn't speak of this to anyone. He said that years later, though, he encountered one of the other officers from that call, and he came up to him and brought up the incident and said that he had witnessed the same thing that Michael did. The other officer said that it freaked him out so bad and that he knew it was demonic.
About you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only. Shout out to King Saul's boss and the bill about you, and it's no one else like you is what they're getting. Positive vibes only. Shout out to King.
Sauce the boss, yo.
There's a lot of sick individuals defending this looks maxing influencer who's about to be prison maxing after what police found on his phone. This is 18-year-old Mason Hull, aka Holo. He gets millions of views, but everything's private now because last week his former girlfriend Via went through his phone one morning, expecting to find him possibly cheating on her. But it was far worse. Instead, Via said she found numerous incidents of Holo buying CSAM. This is the text between them, by the way, where he literally admits to it. Via immediately went to the police while he was still asleep, and she told police everything and showed them the screenshots she had taken on her phone. Police go to his apartment and take his phone. While the investigation is going down, Via also exposes him online, because obviously this man is a danger. He has the audacity to post this. No stress, there's always two sides to a story. Coincidence that she's overly pushing trying to get this out on social media after us separating? Easiest way to spread misled information is online, and therefore I will release with a video on my behalf. With time, the truth will reveal itself. Stay tuned. This guy also took the advice of his manager and started memeing about it, posting this specifically on TikTok 5x5, which means the $25 he spent. This Holo guy also has two little sisters. One of them is adopted and she's Asian. And at one point, he apparently told his girlfriend Via he hopes his 10-year-old sister grows up to be a hot anime girl. If the girlfriend's testimony of what she saw isn't enough for you, there's this influencer named Gideon who literally tricked Holo into thinking he was on his side and got him to admit everything on video. Sarasota police arrested Mason Hull yesterday, May 6th. He's been charged with 15 counts of possessing CSAM, and he's looking at years in prison if convicted. Also, I forgot to mention this guy adopted 2 cats with his girlfriend and then started looking up disturbing stuff about animals.
Let's see if you have thalassophobia, part 3. I'm going to show you 5 photos. If you feel too uncomfortable to make it to the 5th photo, then you could have thalassophobia. Number 1. How about this? Feeling uncomfortable yet? Nearly there. Last one. Hit follow to see if you can make it through the next phobia test.
This boy has never had chocolate before. Just look at his reaction. We should be grateful for everything we have. This is so heartwarming. Share this as act of kindness.
Horror movies that would be absolutely impossible to survive, part 5, 30 Days of Night. Now, we are talking about people that are trapped in a small town in Alaska during 30 days of full pitch black darkness, which is a real thing in Alaska, which is kind of terrifying. But it wouldn't be a horror movie if something didn't show up, and that is arguably the scariest version of vampires we have ever seen. They're extremely fast and extremely vicious, and they're treating this tiny Alaskan town like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And I'm gonna be honest, the biggest threat isn't even technically the vampires. We are talking about below 0 temperatures, no sunlight, and there ain't nobody to come and save you, because the second you make any kind of noise, they're on that ass. We then have to talk about The Faculty, which is a movie that follows high school teachers that start acting weird. Then people start slowly realizing that alien parasites are now taking over the school, which at first you're like, oh, that doesn't sound that bad. Until you realize you can't tell who's human and who isn't. Your teacher could be infected. Your best friend could be infected. Hell, the school mascot could be infected. And you have no idea. Because I guarantee you, 90% of us are just going to go throughout the normal day, think everything's normal until you realize you're now a part of the hive. And finally, you have 13 ghosts. And I don't think this one's talked about enough, because we are talking about a family that inherits a massive giant glass mansion. But the house itself is more or less a supernatural machine trapping ghosts. But we're not talking regular ghosts here. We're talking about violent, nightmare-level spirits. And each one of them has their own horrifying backstory. And the reason ain't nobody surviving is the simple fact that the house itself is a massive trap. You don't know the layout. The walls themselves keep shifting. And ghosts themselves could appear out of nowhere. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to see any ghosts. Don't forget to like and follow for more, and comment down below if you want part 6.
Police are urgently hunting for a predator who dressed up in a Pink Panther costume to stalk and nearly abduct school children in broad daylight. Parents say the masked creep began chasing after 4 of the children and physically tried to grab the youngest little.
If you're in Fredericksburg, Virginia, be on the lookout for this Pink Panther guy in a costume. So this happened on Thursday, May 14th at 4:30 p.m. A resident says that her 2 children were waiting at the bus stop. An individual wearing a pink animal costume was staring at them from across the street. And I mean, it's not even close to Halloween. That's creepy. And especially doing this to children. Upon the arrival and departure of the school bus, the costumed individual is alleged to have crossed Lafayette Boulevard with the stoppage of traffic. Now, according to the mother, the Pink Panther costume guy kept approaching the 4 children before attempting to chase them. They began running in the opposite direction. At one point in that pursuit, the individual is alleged to have attempted to grab one of the smaller children. So he tried to grab the slowest, smallest girl from the group. One of the children said that they saw a man's face beneath the costume. The kid also saw facial hair and a tan complexion. Police have been notified. They are looking for the suspect right now. The original video was from Rush the Realtor on TikTok, but this shows this guy wearing cowboy boots and a plaid flannel, something that he probably wears every day. Many are theorizing right now this guy is going to drop his Pink Panther costume now that the heat is on him, and he's probably just going to wear, his regular outfits. This includes the cowboy boots and the plaid flannel, so that might be an identifying item if he's wearing this every day. Things get weirder too. The guy went into a convenience store and the lady was freaked out. She's like, dude, take that mask off right now. You're going to scare the customers. He didn't even take it off. He didn't even acknowledge her or say anything. He just left. Once again, I want to emphasize, since this case has gone viral, the guy's probably going to ditch the costume, or if he's a sicko that really wants the attention, he's going to wear it again and parade around. Let me know your thoughts on this case, guys.
This is a true horrifying story. This story took place in Kuwait in the year 1997. Weddings back then were very traditional in Arabic countries, and they still are. A wedding bridal party would take place in the bride's house before the actual wedding day. In these bridal parties, usually a female band group are hired to play music. Ones that play these ancient Arabic music, the ones with the Arabic drums. A very famous female band group who were very known back in the 90s named Tagagat Nura. They got a call one night for an inquiry to play at a bride's party. They negotiated the price, prepared for the party, and then got the address. On the bridal's day, this is Nura by the way, her and her team finally reached the house. The house looked very nice and had many lights outside. There were children playing, women all dressed up. They were greeted by the bride's mother. They were taken to the guest room so they can prepare before playing the music. At 9 p.m., Nora and her team start playing, and the ladies go wild and start dancing. They did not stop playing the music till 12 midnight. They asked the bride's mom for a short break, but she refused. She told them that she would pay them extra if they continued playing the music. So they keep playing for an extra 2 hours, and they get shocked at how these ladies don't get tired from all this dancing. At one point, the electricity goes completely off, and then they were ordered to continue playing so they can send someone to check the electricity. So Noura and her team continue playing in pitch darkness. The way these women were dancing was kind of off and strange. It was kind of scary in a way that this band has never seen before. So this is what happened next. One of the artists fainted on stage. They immediately stopped playing, picked her up, and took her to the guest room. They tried to wake her up, and then she did, and started crying from fear. They asked her what was going on, what happened, and she responded by saying one of the women that were dancing had legs that did not look like human legs. They looked like goat legs. And Noura immediately knew what kind of beings were inside this house. They slowly snuck outside through the window and started running for their lives. While they were running through the neighborhood, there was a random guy that was walking. He stopped them and yelled at why they were shouting in the middle of the night. They said that they were playing music for that big house, and an incident has happened. And the man asked, "What house?" The ladies pointed at the house again. The man looked at the house and told them that this house has been abandoned and left empty for 10 years, and that no one lives in that house anymore. They peeked at the house again, and there were no cars, no people, no lights, no children. It was a plain, abandoned, empty house. They thought to themselves that, were they all dreaming the same thing? Was it all just an imagination that they all imagined at the same time? These were jinns that they were playing for. This is, in fact, a true story. And this is the real picture that was taken inside that wedding.
This cute horror game about picking flowers is actually hiding something horrible. Let's talk about a free horror game called Heavy Loma. Full playthrough of the entire game is on my channel now. Our character lives alone in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and our only goal is to find and photograph different plants to add to our guidebook. Before we leave the house on the first day, we eat some breakfast, get some water, and read the paper, which contains an article about a missing girl. Now, the game itself is actually quite peaceful. We hear the birds chirping, the water in the river running, and even the leaves rustling on the ground as we walk. But as I explored, I started to find strange things. There's more missing posters the deeper we go into the woods. But why would there be any missing posters here? We are way off the beaten path. No one else even lives out here except us. And I swear, I keep seeing a figure appearing in the thick of the woods when it gets dark. Our character is getting tired, they seem more nervous, and when we come home one night and look in the mirror, we see this. The dread this game builds is crazy. It's not a jump scare focused experience or anything like that. I'm not going to spoil how it ends, but the game is free. Very curious on y'all's interpretation of the story here.
What's out here? What's out here? Nigga, we out here, we chill. Stupid niggas.
Back on. Who else, man? Sauce the boss, man. Of course, Sauce. psychology tricks that make parenting so much easier that I know work because I have 11 siblings that you don't test this shit on. You know what? Half these work on adults too. Kids are just small humans, and humans hate being told no. So try the yes but method. Instead of being like, hey, do you want to play with me? No. Oh. Hey, you want to play with me? Yes, but I gotta finish this first. The illusion of choice is undefeated. Stop telling your kid what to do and start getting your kid to think that what you want them to do is actually their idea. Instead of being like, do your homework, be like, hey, do you want to do your homework in a blue pen or a red pen? Instead of saying like, did you hit your sister? You say, why did you hit your sister? If your kid is just screaming and will not stop, interrupt them. Be like, hey, what color are your shoes again? The brain's just like, what? And even better, honestly, you could be like, you're mad, don't smile. Straight face, don't smile. Don't smile, you're mad. If a baby or toddler falls in front of you, don't react. They're watching you. They're gonna react how you react. If you're like, oh my God, they're gonna be like, ah. If you're just like neutral or even laughing at it, they'll do the same. People are naturally resistant to negatives, and you can reduce this friction by just being a little bit more careful with your words. Instead of being like, don't run, say, please walk. For the love of God, please make sure your kids are actually thinking for themselves, especially if they're in that why phase. Like, well, why this, why that, why? You don't have to answer every single question. You can instead just be like, I don't know, what do you think? Half the time they answer their own question and you save your own sanity. You've been here long enough to notice that there's a lot of people out here with very little emotional intelligence. That's because their parents messed them up, and you don't have to do the same thing to your kid, okay? If they're upset, don't tell them to stop crying or do the whole, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Actually label their emotion for them. Hey, you're frustrated, you're mad. And then teach them what to do about it. That's how you actually get a person to be able to regulate themselves. You don't want to be that old person sitting in the nursing home wondering why your kids don't ever call you or talk to you. You got to make sure that you actually teach your kids to be able to talk to you. Tell me more is a great one. And also, for the love of God, if you make a mistake, own up to it. Apologize. Your kids will respect you more. If you have older kids, public embarrassment works wonders, okay? Like, be like, hey, if you don't stop, I'm gonna start singing loudly. It works, I promise. And if it doesn't, the trick is you actually have to follow through on your promise. Your kid won't stop whining, just tell them that you're allergic. And then when they're whining, just sneeze uncontrollably.
Yeah, we out here, nigga. People ask, what's out here? Nigga, we out, yeah, we chill. Stupid niggas. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goons and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you when the mood is right. It's a little spray, cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out, yeah. Minute Maid high, whip it up. Treat beef like cows in slaughterhouse. That's why we gripping up. Doing dirt on my own. Ain't no bitching up. Counting money. Talk election going on in my pocket. Stunting when I buy the ball. Change with Ted Dawson. He brushed me wrong. I have him slipping, grazing in the grass. She got an all you body. Easy slipping when I smash. She wanna feel the fire. People Bryson. I tell her jeweler pick up the pieces on his average white band. I see mixed brown dope. It ain't 10. Damn, what he talking about? Money a Muslim before they come and chalk him out. That's what my talk be about. You ain't feeling what I'm saying, ma. Get out the car and walk it out. You saving me gas, me money, and not wasting my fucking time. Can't you see I'm on my fucking grind? Pretending like they not, but they are. So tell them get off mine. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goons and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you when the mood is right. It's a little spray, cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out, yeah. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out, yeah. We out, yeah. We ain't the vicious type, but we we got plenty toys, nigga, like we sponsor Fisher Price. My bars and my voice get your sister hype, and I stay in the kitchen cutting raw like a kitchen knife. Make sure the raw pure and you dish it right. Fucking with the law, don't get caught by them flicking lights. I pray I make it every day and every freaking night. And they say that I used to do it wrong, I had to get it right. Stack of bread and that's pesos. Stack of bread just like Lego. I got the so please bitch, just let go of my ego. Double up for 100 G, bleed money, that's paper. Put 30 long in my dungarees, increase my daily haters. We out here, them downstairs, they come out clear. Diamonds shine like a Montclair, and when it's time to ride, we take out chairs. Mopping in the chairless whip, chopper with extended clip. Bullets at your whole body, and that's what I call intimate. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goals and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you, when the mood is right. What you look with Sprite, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here. Yeah, we out here, nigga. People ask, what's out here? Nigga, we out here, we chill. Stupid niggas. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goals and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you, when the mood is right. It's a loop with Sprite, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here.
Minute Made high, whip it up. Tree beef like cows in slaughterhouse. That's why we gripping up. Doing dirt on my own. Ain't no bitching up. Counting money talk, collection going on in my pocket. Stunting when I buy the bar. Change with Ted Dawson. He brushed me wrong. I have him slipping, grazing in the grass. She got an all you body easy slipping when I smash. She wanna feel the fire, Peebo Bryson. I tell her June to pick up the pieces on his average white band. I see mixed brown dope, it ain't 10. Damn, what he talking about? Money a Muslim before they come and chalk him out. That's what my talk be about. You ain't feeling what I'm saying, ma. Get out the car and walk it out. You saving me gas, me money, and not wasting my fucking time. Can't you see I'm on my fucking grind? Pretending like they not, but they are. So tell them get off mine. They say it's wrong, but we doing right. We moving right, we in a loop, ducking, moving like shit. From noon to night, it's just the goals and the crew is tight. What you doing tonight? Just me and you, when the mood is right. What you look with Sprite, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here. And my team always getting that green. Yeah, cause we out here. We ain't the vicious type, but we got plenty toys, nigga, like we sponsor Fisher Price. My bars and my voice get your sister hype, and I stay in the kitchen cutting raw like a kitchen knife. Make sure the raw pure and you dish it right. Fucking with the law, don't get caught by the
my life, son.
Sauce the boss. It's his birthday. Everybody wish him happy birthday.
Oh, this is big right here, y'all. Everybody wish Sauce, the official boss, happy birthday, man.
Get you a
Let's
bag.
go. Let's see it in the timeline.
Just light up. Can't fight him, stay here, run. Can't greet him with two, only the third eye.
I like the wish.
Killer vision, PSPR, rent hospital. Left me on this track. Accidents and opera O's. Conscience,
I like the wish.
Flow riding on
Sauce
my train.
the boss.
Denzel, Chris Pine,
Happy birthday.
Albert Einstein.
I'd like to give a big
Imagination is
shout
more
to Hasty
important
Gordon.
than
That's
knowledge.
somebody said Hasty
Flying
Gordon.
off the
Charlie
tracks.
Fields.
Extraterrestrial blunt, I got it on my lap. When I land soul train line, hop
I
on
like
my
how they sound.
dad. They fear what they don't understand.
I like to give a big
forgive them
happy
'cause
birthday
they don't
to
really know no better. Hope